So to start things out tonight, I thought we would just do a short introduction. I can begin, certainly, but basically just want to know a little bit about your background in terms of meditation and sort of what your expectations for. I mean, why are you here? Why do you want to study meditation? And let me start off by giving my background. Again, my name is Don Handrick. I'm the resident teacher here at Tupten Norbuling. I've been in this position for, I guess, about 3 years now. Have been teaching here since 2005, but then in this particular position only for maybe about, it's getting probably close to 4 years now that I think about it. No, it's 2006. So yeah, 3 years. Before that, I was studying over in Italy in what's called the Master's Program, which is our parent organization developed various levels of instruction and education. In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, there's a lot of emphasis on that. And I studied with Geshe Jampa Gyatso over in Italy at our center, Istituto Lama Tsongkhapa, and it was a 7-year program that's called the Master's Program, which is based on the traditional monastic studies. And so I had left my job and lay life, well, I'm still in the lay life, but my regular life, ordinary life in San Francisco, and went off to do that program. And that program is specifically designed to create teachers in this tradition. Very much enjoyed my study and practice over there, and am happy to be a part of this community. So what if in terms of my experience with Buddhism, maybe to go back a little bit further, really began around 1992, 93. I started studying in San Francisco with Rigpa, Sogyal Rinpoche's organization, after reading the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, and then found the FPMT shortly after that in 1996, and again went off and did this program and what have you. So in terms of practice and meditation, haven't been maintaining an absolutely consistent practice since then, but have been doing things around the Dharma and some sort of Dharma practice every day. So I hope that this course will be of some benefit to those of you who are interested in, again, pursuing some Buddhist practice and meditation in particular. So if one of you would like to start, again, just introduce yourself and say a little bit about your background and why you're here, what you would like to get in terms of studying meditation.
I'm Jeff. My background is coming from martial arts to Vipassana meditation, which is the style that I learned is extremely stripped down. It makes a big deal about issuing all the things that Buddhism teaches. I've been attending Tokyo now for 3 years.
3 years, probably a little over 3 years, yeah.
I hope the copies come out Sunday. And what I'm hoping to get out of class is a couple of things. A more regular, consistent practice, mostly just having all the things going on. And picking up God's teaching approach to your classes and the future of teaching as well.
Okay. Great, thanks, Jeff.
As a third.
You want to go, Steve?
And I'm Steve Staus. I am actually new to Santa Fe.
Mhm. Okay.
My experience with meditation has been sporadic, but it's probably been spread over. Well, I think my first training, quote unquote, was in 1969. My mother hosted a guru from India for a week.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And this is in California. So subsequent to that, I have from time to time had meditation practice in the yogic
Okay.
tradition. I've done a limited study of studies, not the right word, spiritual reading of Buddhism.
Okay.
In Darth Vader, of course, in high school, which is that qualifies you. But, my objective, the reason I'm here, is that I recognize a considerable amount of internal turmoil that I would like to dispel, as you could say. I also feel aware of some goodness in the universe that I would like to tap into and contribute to.
That's great.
So,
We'll be talking about these sorts of things, so it's wonderful. Great. Good, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome here.
My name is Tom Carey's. I've lived in northern New Mexico for about 30 years. Actually 30 years in January. But I've actually never been here for longer than about 3 weeks at a time. I think it's some combination of my job and my personal proclivities that lead to one. I use my job, I think, as an excuse to travel and wander and see and experience. I think I was first aware of a really strong philosophical stream within myself in my late teens. I thought I wanted to be an engineer and absolutely fell in love with physics and then metaphysics and philosophy. I decided I had to set all that aside to get a job. And it was in 2003, I think, that I first started. I went to a development program at the Gestalt Institute of Labor, and the head of the program there was starting a meditation group in conjunction with the program, and I kind of kept my distance, kept on the sidelines, and just sort of watched. That was it. I knew I was there for business, for meditation. And then in 2005, I did an assignment in California where I was essentially alone relative to my family for a year. I was working while I was there, but I was all by myself essentially for the entire year, living in a condo overlooking Malaga Cove near the Palos Verdes cliffs. And I wandered into a bookstore one day in the Riviera Village, and there was a book by Thich Nhat Hanh with a simple little title, Anger, Wisdom for Cooling the Flames. I'd had a thing with anger for my entire life. And long story short, one thing led to another. I sort of tumbled forth into Taoism, Zen, revisiting Christianity, and just it was a year of almost, I think, reawakening. When I came back to New Mexico, early 2006, I had had a head injury while I was doing that assignment, and I started to get massage therapy to remove the stored trauma in my body and my psyche. And I wanted to continue that therapy, and I just got really lucky, and then I started to see an excellent therapist here in town who turned out to be a member of the center. And over the course of a year and a half or so, we had various conversations because with Susan, it's not simply about the body; she treats the whole being. And ultimately, I got very lucky in that her husband John helped me go over the hump to come to an open house in April of 2008, I think it was.
Yeah, probably.
I started
Yeah.
the discovery of Buddhism.
Okay.
And then a very happy student and learner and beginning practitioner ever since then. My first real introduction to meditation was the module we did in Discovering Buddhism on how to meditate. And during that module, I really started to apply. I was sitting most evenings and working diligently. Materials that Don was giving us really caught hold, and I found that sort of just seemed to tail off. I struggled to establish a regular sitting practice. So I find that every new thing I learn here, every new element of the path that I'm experienced to causes changes in me, and I now have a very regular morning practice of prayer that I go through, but I haven't yet seemed to be able to establish with any regularity a sitting practice. That's what I would like to do. I mean, I want to actualize the path. I've noticed that when I don't sit, my mind gets noisy.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to do is get back to meditation to requiet it.
Yeah.
And then move from there with little baby steps on the path to concentration and
So your expectation then of the course is to be able to establish that more regularly.
establish a regular sitting
Okay.
practice.
Great.
We've now gotten to the point where I can't lay down and go to sleep without doing nightly prostrations and refuge in the three jewels.
Mhm.
I can't start my day without combining that with morning prayers. So I figure
good,
I'm just
good.
one small step away from the daily sitting practice. Dawn's going to take me over the hump.
Yeah. I hope so. Well, let me tell you a little bit about my expectations, because I actually didn't talk about that either. I can have an expectation as a teacher, too, as to what I would like for all of you in this group, whoever joins us or is here for these classes. One of my first experiences with meditation actually was in 1989. So even though I didn't really start my formal Buddhist practice until much later, a couple years later, I did go to a meditation sitting day. I was doing some hospice work on a volunteer basis in San Francisco, and I saw this little flyer that said it was up in Fairfax, I think, is it Fairfax or Fairfield? What's in
No, it's both.
Fairfax? I think is up in Marin. Yeah. Fairfax. There was this wonderful little church that they were having an all-day meditation retreat of sorts for caregivers, people who are involved in hospice and what have you. So I thought this might be a really good way to kind of see what meditation is about, and everything that they said would be geared to allow some space for people to do some healing around their own issues and being caregivers and that. But it was a lot of meditation. It was a lot of sitting, and it was a whole day of it, and it was done silently. And there really wasn't. What my expectations were and what it was were two different things. And so I have to admit that really made a strong impression on me in a negative way about meditation, because I didn't feel like I really went into it with my eyes wide open, with someone to skillfully guide me into it. Not that the person leading it wasn't skillful, it just wasn't geared to me. I was just kind of hitting meditation at the wrong time in the wrong place in the wrong way. So I ended up actually having quite a bit of resistance to meditation. And so my hope for this class is to sort of skillfully guide people into working with meditation, with the hopes that you'll have a different experience, that you'll fall in love with the practice and actually want to incorporate it in your life in the same way that you incorporate the things that you enjoy in your life right now into your lives. So that would be my hope or my expectation for what we can do here in these several weeks. To get things started, I think we're just going to go ahead and do an exercise and do a little bit of meditation. May sound kind of strange to do a practice before you've really gotten any instruction, but some of you, again, it sounds like all of you have done some form of meditation before. We will go into more details about kind of position and posture. We will talk a bit more about meditation and its function tonight. But I think what's good is to just maybe start with a short exercise. So what you might do is to just get into what you consider a comfortable posture. The only thing I'm going to point out in terms of posture to begin with is the most important element of posture, which is to make sure that the back is straight. Otherwise, everything else is just, comfortable. You want everything to be in a position where you can sit for a while. If you do find that as we go through this meditation that it's too difficult to be in that posture, you're certainly welcome to change your posture. In this tradition, we're quite easy on that instruction, not requiring people to hold a posture for unlimited amounts of time. So what we're going to do is just this short meditation on sort of taking a look at our attention, our awareness, and our bodies. So for now, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Again, we will go over other instructions about how we might work with our eyes slightly open. But for this meditation, maybe best to keep your eyes closed. And just breathe naturally. And bring your awareness to your breathing.